Part of being a smart rider is actually acquiring and using personal protective equipment. Okay, it's very important that you do that because you're going to have crashes. Possibly you're going to have close calls. You're going to have situations where you need to have that backup. If your situational awareness doesn't work, you miss something, your fundamental skills aren't working, you miss something, you need to have something there as a backup. And that's where PPE is, okay? Personal protective equipment. We're going to go over briefly kind of what it goes over, abrasion mitigation. So sliding across the asphalt, sliding across gravel, abrasions, rug burns is an abrasion. It's a friction burn, but you can actually start tearing some skin if you really go crazy on that. So that's what abrasion does. It's going to be tearing off your skin, kind of like that sliding aspect. Impact, so actually hitting the ground, hitting an object, hitting something. You want to have some mitigation there. So you have, elbow protection, back protection, shoulder protection, knee protection. You're going to have hopefully hip protection. But then you have also, we're not just talking about pants and jackets. We're talking about helmets. You have the helmet and the head protection, gloves and feet. So that's a big thing. So abrasion and impact protection and mitigation. And then you also have weather mitigation. So when you're out riding, you're going let's say 45 miles an hour. 45 miles an hour, it's wet, it's raining. All of a sudden it stops raining, or even it's still raining. You're going to have that convected heat taken out of you. Okay, so you're going to be traveling and you're basically having evaporative cooling. And if you don't have the appropriate gear, you're going to actually get into something like hypothermia. And if you're actually riding in hot weather, if you have something that's just going to keep everything in, it's not going to breathe, it's not going to allow you to have that evaporative cooling, you're going to possibly get into hyperthermia. So you want to get gear that is specific to the environment that you're riding in. So it's not just abrasion mitigation, impact mitigation, but also adverse weather mitigation. So that's kind of part of the temperature regulation. In this right here, this is going to be part of the new book that we're coming out with, right? So you guys get to see it a little bit early. We talk about heat stress. Heat stress is something that you don't really have up north, but you can down here in the south, Tucson and Yuma and Arizona, basically. You can have a high potential of heat stress. So heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke. Heat cramps, it sounds exactly what it is. You're going to start getting cramps. If any of you have been running or part of a sport, you get dehydrated, all of a sudden your leg and calf starts cramping up, especially when you're in bed and it cramps up. Ooh, that's a terrible feeling. That's a heat cramp. Okay, you're a little bit dehydrated. Your electrolytes are kind of out of whack and things, the way it works with your nerves. You need potassium, calcium. It doesn't work. And that's why Gatorade is actually pretty good. Half water, half Gatorade. Very, very good. So heat exhaustion, though, is you start to get it a little bit worse. You start getting a little bit worse. You start getting some cognitive decline. You start to get tired. So basically think of a very sleepy, drunk feeling. Not good when you're riding, okay? Not good at all, but especially when you're riding or driving. Heat stroke is an emergency. You're having a stroke. Your brain is basically shutting down, and it's a life-threatening thing, especially if you don't get any help. So once again, I'm just going to briefly go over some of this stuff. Hypothermia. There's a few symptoms here and there. There's not really a heat cramp, heat exhaustion, heat stroke. There's no cold cramp, cold exhaustion. It's basically just starts getting worse and progressively worse. So early symptoms, you're definitely gonna start getting shivering. So shivering is your body's natural way of actually creating heat. It's like a friction type thing inside your muscles. It's starting to burn calories. Calories are units of heat inside your body. So it's wanting to burn it, and get yourself warmer. It's going to keep doing that. It's going to keep doing that until it gets to a point where you have tremors. Your body's having tremors, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stops. Your body runs out of calories, it gets too exhausted, you get super tired, you just want to go to sleep, and those are some late symptoms. So now you're just going to sleep, you're super cold, you just don't want to deal with it, and then if that keeps going and going and you fall asleep, if you don't get any help, you're going to die. You're going to die. So these are some of the things that gear just kind of helps with. Now, we haven't even jumped into what kind of helmets to get, jackets, pants, gloves, boots, or anything like that. I mean, we have 3-season, summer, winter jackets and pants. We have leather. We have fabric, textiles. We have all these different things. Do you get hip armor? Do you only get knee armor? What kind of back armor should you get? EN 1621-2. All these different things. What do you get? And we're gonna go over that next week. We're going to go over that next week. But the main reasons why you want to wear personal protective equipment is for that abrasion resistance, for that impact mitigation, for that weather mitigation, for that body temperature regulation. That's very important when you're riding a motorcycle. Very, very important. So those are the main reasons. Now, those are the principles behind it. Now, how you achieve that is what kind of gear you get and why you should have gear, okay? So that's why I believe you should wear personal protective equipment. Write in the comments why you think you wear it or why you should wear it yourself. But we just, honestly, before we even jump into the next thing, anybody watch football? Anybody watch the NFL? Tua, the Dolphins? I made a post on Instagram. I made a post on Twitter. Massive traumatic brain injury, secondary concussive syndrome. He's wearing a helmet. Concussions. I mean, we're talking about saving our own lives when we're riding a motorcycle going 45, 50, 60, 100 miles an hour sometimes. And some people don't even want to wear a helmet. This guy gets tackled twice in 5 days and gets his head knocked really hard twice in 5 days. And he's probably career ended. His career is probably ended. So imagine just one really bad traumatic brain injury, crashing to the side of the mountain, crashing to the vehicle, dumping the bike and hitting your head extremely hard. This is why we wear gear. Okay, that's more of a personal note that I wanted to share with you. I just wanted you guys to understand that. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump back into class for a little bit. We do have a video right here. So, that's the live stream. Let's go back. We don't want to watch the live stream. We got a video right here. Boom. All right, so we got a biker's video today.